city that defied the waters. The land still whispered of the flood. Around 3400 BCE, the plains between the Tigris and Euphrates lay soft with fresh silt. Reeds shot up greedily where water had recently ruled. The rivers, life-givers, and destroyers had reminded everyone. What they gave, they could reclaim in a night of roaring fury. People returned not as scattered survivors, but as a people forged by memory. They would not beg the gods from the mud. They would rise above them. So they raised a platform of packed earth and brick, meters high, and atop it they built the White Temple. Its walls gleamed with white gypsum plaster that caught the brutal sun like bone. Not merely tall, but elevated, a deliberate bulwark against the next deluge. Dry ground for dry, I did nation. A statement carved in mud and stone. We have learned. The waters will not take us again. Point 1. They did not begin with prayers or processions. They began with counting. Simple tallies on stone or clay, barley measures, livestock tallies had already appeared, as seen in early records linked to places like Kish. But Uruk demanded more. As the settlement swelled into the largest concentration of humanity the world had yet known, with thousands living cheek by jowl amid irrigated fields and workshops, memory alone was treacherous. Floods could erase oral knowledge. Drought could spark famine. Disputes over land or grain could fracture the fragile new order. They needed permanence. They needed proof. So scribes pressed sharpened reeds into wet clay, creating pictographic signs, heads of cattle, jars of oil, measures of grain. These were not yet full sentences, but they were the seeds of writing, proto-cuneiform, born in the temples and storehouses of Uruk to track rations, offerings, and labor. Contracts, deeds, ledgers that bound the present to the future. A civilization learning that power flowed not just from the gods, but from the ability to record who owed what to whom. Point 1.8. The Uruk face captures it all in silent, rhythmic stone. Carved from alabaster, standing nearly a meter tall, it unfolds like a procession in 3 registers. Below, the life-giving waters and crops, the fertile bounty wrested from the flood-prone earth. Middle, naked men in steady march, carrying overflowing baskets of produce, offerings, yes, but also proof of survival and surplus. At the top, a robed figure, perhaps a priest-king or the goddess Inanna herself, patron of Uruk, receiving the gifts before reed bundle symbols of her temple. No panic, no pleading, just ordered abundance. Bodies moving with disciplined purpose. This was no mere decoration. It was a manifesto, a visual receipt for the gods and for posterity. See what we have built from the silt. See what we control. The vase stood in the Aina precinct, part of Uruk's sacred and administrative power, reminding every viewer, we turned chaos into hierarchy, scarcity into wealth. Point 1.6. Then came the seals, small cylinders of stone, carved with intricate scenes of animals, rituals, or symbols of authority. Rolled across wet clay, they left a continuous band of impressions. This grain belongs here. This transaction is sealed. This authority cannot be washed away. Cylinder seals spread with Uruk's influence, from southern Mesopotamia to distant colonies and trade outposts. They weren't just markers of ownership. They were tools of trust in a world where verbal promises could drown in the next high water. Every roll of the cylinder was a quiet act of defiance against forgetting, against the rivers, against time itself. Uruk did not merely survive the flood-prone world. It mastered uncertainty. From the shadow of past inundations, its people engineered irrigation canals that tamed the rivers rather than feared them. They specialized labor, potters, weavers, metalworkers, administrators, feeding a city that may have housed 40,000 or more at its peak. Ringed by satellite settlements, they built on a scale never seen. Monumental temples rebuilt layer upon layer, each iteration grander. Trade reached Iran and Anatolia, even hints of farther connections, and through it all, the new technologies of record-keeping scaled with the ambition. This was a true turning point. The moment scattered villages coalesced into the first urban civilization, the birth of the state, bureaucracy, and the written word, not as poetry at first, but as the iron spine holding a complex society together. What began as tallies against hunger became the foundation for empires, laws, and literature that would echo for millennia, including later flood epics like those tied to Gilgamesh of Uruk. The river still rose and fell, but Uruk had built walls, not just of brick, but of knowledge, that the waters could no longer easily breach. They had turned survival into supremacy, and the world would never be the same. This version keeps the poetic tone you like, the city that remembered the flood but adds tension.